Those Alaskan queers, I tell you. They keep putting rainbows on my sidewalks.
I just picture him getting interviewed for Fox News, and that's what he says.
We're about to spit some fire takes.
We at the Shake TV are the certified source for figuring out where anybody ranks on the political compass. And today we're answering the biting question that everyone has forced us to do. We are going to decide where popular cartoon characters end up on the political compass. How did this come about again? How did we get in this position?
Well, we did that video game characters on the political compass, and for some reason that's our most watched video.
Of all time.
For good reason.
And people wanted more, I guess.
I think the original comment was Nickelodeon, and then we said, well, listen, if we're going to talk about Nickelodeon characters, let's just broaden the scope. If you were drawn, you're potentially about to get put in the spotlight and roasted. Political compass goes up to down. The y-axis is authoritarian to libertarian, and then left to right, going from the political left to the political right. That is on the x-axis. Depending on what we believe that these characters believe, and like I said, we are the #1 authority on this. You guys are gonna have your childhood ruined.
Let's do this.
We're not talking about this or this. We're talking about this.
So SpongeBob will be our centrist for this session here. Now, the reason why I put him center is that this guy is, like, in my opinion, probably the least political out of the whole group. He's like an optimistic laborer working under capitalism, and he enjoys like many different types of people. He'll hang out with like Squidward, who's like he's terrible company in general. And then you got Patrick, who's like a complete dumbass, and then like you got the squirrel, like whatever her name is,
Socialist Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy, there you go. But with SpongeBob, he's just so happy all the time. And he's like the kind of guy who will wake up at 6 a.m. for a walk and feed his snail and do yoga and grab a Starbucks. And then by the time 9 a.m. comes around, like you walk in and he's like yelling at you, saying like good morning and shit like that. Like stuff that you hate. But he's like the least offensive person to be around and whatever. So I figured he'd fit like perfectly in the middle.
Yeah.
So he's like so positive that he transcends any belief systems.
As a sponge, you're literally used by all sides of the political spectrum.
We're really bringing out his body type into this.
Yeah.
It shapes his political views.
He's just full of holes. He can't settle on anything.
That's true, yeah. No.
Oh shit. All his arguments are full of holes.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. He's a straw man.
He just absorbs all the hate, and then eventually we'll do like instant barbarian or like get super jacked and just toss people. But
Yeah.
like he'll let loose sometimes, but that's why he'd like fit in the middle.
I think that SpongeBob, his political views are based on whatever Reddit thread that he just read. That's it. So it's either like I love Hillary Clinton, she's going to be the first female president, she's amazing, to Hillary Clinton is a corrupt piece of shit that should be thrown in jail, depending on which subreddit is popping up in his feed on any given day.
Yeah, 100%. And then he posts like a comment like, Hillary, more like Dillery, am I right? And
Yeah.
then just like ascends into the centrist realm.
More like Shillery.
See, initially I was like thinking of him as like an exploited millennial kind of guy, like but you're right that he's just so positive that he doesn't even give a shit that he like works 100 hours a week at like the Krusty Krab or whatever. Probably makes shit pay.
He's like ignorant to the fact he's being like used and abused. He's just going along with his life and just dealing with it, I guess. Not even dealing with it, but like not even seeing the negatives. It's always the positive.
You could see him as such a like beta that like such a soy boy that like
Oh my god, holy shit, boys. This is the first character. You are going so hard. You just called SpongeBob a soy boy beta cuck. Whew. Alright, boys, so that's character 1.
This guy's been so many times, he's got holes everywhere.
Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. So to me, he is like clearly like a super toxic, like alcoholic guy, and all he cares about is like his own sort of nihilistic scientific freedom. Like he's beyond the libertarian spectrum. Like he breaks through. He's so into freedom that he will sacrifice his family for experiments and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's left or right. Like he definitely doesn't care about social issues.
No.
But I don't think he cares about economy that much either.
No,
He might be dead center, just full on libertarian.
I think so.
You know, like when they say like listen to your doctor, this is like the doctor you wouldn't listen to. Like,
Yeah.
the crazy one.
It's like when they say 9 out of 10 dentists say this is a good toothpaste. He's the 10th dentist.
Like you were hoping for Johnny Sins to come into the examining room, and then like Rick Sanchez comes in, and you're like,
All he cares about is like getting drunk and doing his experiments.
Yeah.
It's like implied like heavily that he was like an anarcho-terrorist as well, like on a universal
shit.
level and like the lore. So you
Yeah.
could arguably like put him over here as a disillusioned anarcho-terrorist, essentially.
Because there's the Council of Ricks who want to like control the Ricks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
He's like the one Rick that like doesn't want to be controlled.
And then like he literally like rose up against the universal government or some shit. Do we just slide him right in the middle?
I don't know. I could see him. I could see him either way.
He's kind of like disillusioned as
I think that might be the position. It might be in between the two.
Yeah.
because he's no longer an anarcho-terrorist. Like that was his youthful days. Now he's just kind of like a disillusioned like libertarian boy.
Yeah.
Every now and then he gets together with Squanch and does some weird shit.
Oh my god! I'm squatching in here! It's happening again! My brain! My hot, stinging brain!
Ren from Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if you guys ever watched this show. It's
Yeah.
wild. So I'm thinking Ren. He clearly advocates for the decriminalization of all drugs because he is coked out of his mind all the time. There's two things. So there's that, and then there's also the fact that he seems to just hate everybody. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, but he also hates everybody. So we can't put him on the left because left is like collectivism. So that's like people all working together. Whereas libertarian right is leave me alone. I want to smoke weed and I hate everybody. So I think that Ren is about as far right libertarian as you can possibly get.
He's like a massive pervert, right?
There's also that, and that tends to be 1-to-1 if you're that far right libertarian, because that's at the point where you're like, I don't think the age of consent should exist.
Yeah. Maybe lower it a little bit.
They're my property. What does it matter?
It's like I'm carbon.
I'm carbon. They're carbon.
He's kind of like the Ron Paul in that he's like, you'll agree with him on like the Middle East policy. He's like, yeah, we shouldn't have gone to Iraq or whatever. But then he'll turn around and be like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and he's predicted 24 of the last 2 stock market crashes. He just thinks that every year he's like, buy gold, the dollar's gonna blow up.
He's like Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, so he's been doing that, and so yeah, he's just like drugged out all the time. He just hangs out around high schools trying to pick up chicks. He'll be in prison in 3 to 5 years, and yeah, he has the Ron Paul Revolution sticker from 2008. That's on his bumper. So
Isn't there like a case to be made that he's like, I guess, bisexual or gay with Stimpy?
it could be.
I have heard that.
You've been reading the fan fictions?
Well, no.
You've been reading those too?
Are you trying to pitch your own fan fiction? What's going on?
When I watched them, I watched like the adult version or whatever that was. Like they had a series where it was just like PG-13 or like adult rated, and they were doing a lot of like sexual shit and like licking each other's asses and shit like in the cartoon.
I do remember it being up.
Yeah.
It is. It's crazy. Even like when I was watching it growing up, I was like, yeah, this is gonna scar me. I'm a changed man for having seen this now.
It's one of those cartoons where they would like zoom in on one of their faces and it would be way too detailed with like stubble and like the bloodshot eyes.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he like lost his tooth or something and they show like the nerves sticking out of like his gums? Oh, it's really it's a terrifying show. He's in his corner that he needs to be.
It's just freedom.
He loves freedom. He doesn't quite know what it means, but he loves it.
And the artists who made him love freedom too, let me tell you that much. Scooby Doo is the biggest libertarian. I just want to eat everything kind of capitalist that exists. Like he's like putting children in the sweatshops so that He can like have cheaper Twinkies and stuff. Like he's just the worst piece of shit. He's like completely antithetical, I would say, to Shaggy.
Interesting.
I think I agree. See, this is what I would say. I think that two mailmen come to the door. First mailman is white. He is completely quiet. If the mailman is black, he is barking like a mother.
Yeah.
So I think Scooby-Doo is like super racist.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo's like, ruh-roh.
Yeah. Ruh-roh. That's different.
Like he proves that systemic racism goes that deep.
All the way down to the dog level.
Good God. I mean, look at the crew he hangs out with. That's the whitest, pastiest group of mystery solvers I think I've ever seen.
Let's say for a moment Velma's like I would put her like leftist, like as left as it comes. Fred is obviously your alt-right boy. And then Daphne is like somewhere down there where she's like girls for Trump. And then
Oh, she is.
and then you've got Scooby-Doo where the entire show, all he talks about is food and feeding his tummy. So like he's gotta be down here in like property libertarian.
He's almost like a hedonist libertarian.
Full on hedonist. Yeah. All he cares about is like eating at all costs, and he doesn't care who needs to go in the kitchen to do that, whether it's underpaid immigrant workers or young children.
I learned something terrifying about Scooby-Doo today.
Scooby-Doo is a piece of shit.
Scooby-Doo, man.
Scooby-Doo. I always knew it. Also, he doesn't... Why is he the star of the show? I watched those cartoons. He contributed jack shit to them.
Velma carries the entire show.
She does. He gets high and then just like happens to stumble onto something. That's like the limit of his skill as a dog.
He's like a burnt out like drug dog. They just like he couldn't make it as like an airport dog, and they just tossed him.
Yeah, they
That's
just
it.
tossed him, and then Shaggy picked him up off the street.
Oh damn, dude, this is the lore. Here's where I would put his story. Is like he started up here, authoritarian, right?
Yeah, he was like interested in catching like druggies.
Yeah, he was like a drug dog, and then he was just like started like accidentally sniffing the coke or whatever.
He was sampling the shit. He was sampling the product.
And then they just kicked him out, like you said, and he just became like a wild ass libertarian. He doesn't even care about right or left, dude. He just does drugs.
Yeah.
Isn't this just like... Wasn't this the storyline of like Max Payne or something? Where he started as like a cop and then he went rogue?
Yeah.
He obviously wasn't doing as much coke as Scooby-Doo, but I
No, Scooby was doing all the coke.
Who is?
Yeah.
That's a bit too much coke.
Roro.
Shaggy, my heart's racing.
Doing like hitting a bong.
Oh, with the water bubbling.
It's like that meme where Shaggy's like, that wasn't weed or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's such a good one.
He's like shooting up retinol with the boys.
I got something for you. For me? Well, let me have it. I'll let you have it. Here it is.
Elmur Fudd from Looney Tunes. I think we all know he's gonna go down here, right? No, he's not gonna go down there. Okay, so
I thought you were about to make a case. I was like,
no,
what?
no chance.
I fold my arms and I'm like, make the case that he is like the Noam Chomsky of Political Compass for cartoons.
My first instinct would be like an extreme in one of the corners, but I think I want to put him probably not full authoritarian, but like below, because he's definitely pretty far right. If not at the edge, like pretty close to it. This guy is like an avid Second Amendment like practitioner. This guy's like following really closely to this assault weapon ban, and he doesn't want like that's why he's not full authoritarian, because he doesn't want the government to take his weapon like guns away, right?
Yeah,
But at the same time, he'll like follow the rules about like not hunting rabbits when it's duck season and shit. So he'll like
Oh yeah.
he like won't shoot Bugs Bunny because like it's duck season and Bugs is like kind of like with him. So he'll like follow the rules that way. But he's definitely on like PETA's most wanted list.
Takes like pictures with like tigers and shit that he hunted and
Yeah, exactly.
illegally and poached.
He's also like far right because like his use of the word queer is probably comes off really offensive. So there's that too. Yeah, that he probably doesn't read past the Fox News headlines at all.
No,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
He's not looking up any of studies.
He gives me the vibe of like a Bible thumping Republican who like,
Yeah.
you know, claims that he's super Christian or whatever, but all his values are very like anti-Christian.
Oh yeah, there's no logical connection between what he actually believes and what he claims to believe. There's there's so many holes. He's got more holes than SpongeBob, but he doesn't care because if you bring that up, he'll shoot you in the face. I think that you're right to put him there. I think you could also make the case that he is one of the like 50 members of the Westboro Baptist Church, and he's like going to the funerals and be like, those queers are gonna feel the wrath of Jesus Christ. Those wascally queers are gonna get the wrath. And it's like, gee, Elmer. It's
The guy's a complete doofus.
that's it. No, yeah, it's like Elmer is just time has moved ahead of you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like if you're getting outsmarted by animals, it's time to like call it quits.
That's it. That's the real thing. That's how you know that he's in the wrong, because he's getting outsmarted by a wabbit.
Yeah.
That pesky wabbit.
That stupid wabbit that believes in women's rights. I just can't stand it. No, yeah, that's right. You shipped him to the right. We know where he stands.
Yeah.
Put him where he belongs.
A little bit more right there.
That's it. Well, once you really get into it, we understand. Call him old-fashioned, because he is even older than that. All right, I think we figured it out.
Can't breathe.
We wrestled him into his into that far right, which is where he's meant to be.
Those wascally queers.
I was trying not to laugh the whole time. Oh, okay. All right, we're good.
Rupert's gone.
Those wascally queers, I tell you. They keep putting rainbows on my sidewalks.
I just picture him getting interviewed for Fox News, and that's what he says.
And then he's gonna be on Joe Rogan and be like, I just feel like why can't you just like speak your mind?
There's only two genders. There's only two genders.
There's only two. That's what the Bible told me. Jesus Christ said so. Like I said, the Shake TV is the authority on cartoon political rankings.
So Scooby, we know, was a straight-edged, orderly guy. He had a life. He had a wife. But Shaggy came along with his goddamn mushroom-eating, pot-smoking ways, and he really just fucked that dog up.
Yeah, he really brought him into the hedonistic way of life. Like,
Yeah.
I put him on the left libertarian just because like Shaggy went to like one semester of college and he was in like a women's studies course and like studied socialism.
Yeah.
But that's as much as he knows about anything.
Yeah,
And then he dropped out because he was high all the time.
yeah. He was just super high.
You know that Shaggy has the rose in his Twitter handle, so that you know that he's an online socialist.
Oh no, yeah.
He gets baked on Scooby Snaps and then argues with people. He tries to ratio CNN pundits.
I think that's what keeps their friendship is like, even though Shaggy is like leftist freedom guy and Scooby is right freedom guy, they both want to use the R word and listen to like Come Town and shit, so they can laugh about that.
Yeah, 100%. I picture like Scooby-Doo's downward spiral like this. Like Shaggy just rolls up to him and is like, "Hey Scoob, let's totally smoke some crack, bro." And then like
Smoke some crack with me, bro. One hit, that's it.
then Scooby takes that first hit and it's over. It's done.
Yeah, it's over.
His life spirals.
His stable job with the police force, and now he's going into people's houses and trying to solve mysteries. And then like an old man's like, "Can you leave my property, please? My wife just died. I want some time alone."
He's shaking down the elderly for drug money.
Oh shit.
I'm not sorry. I won't hide, and this isn't your playground anymore. Says who? Says me. This playground is for good kids who get along and play nice.
Tommy Pickles.
Ooh.
We have to address the elephant in the room. He's white, and at first glance, he's bald, which means, of course, that he is a neo-Nazi skinhead.
Well, naturally, yeah.
So we start with, of course, Tommy Pickles, the authoritarian right. However, if you zoom in, you will actually notice that there are some little hairs that are growing back.
Oh, yeah.
And so he started out as a neo-Nazi skinhead. However, he has gone through some reform. He has been introspective. He's looked inside himself. And he's actually gone and made a switch. And now he's just kind of like a Trudeau supporting but not loving liberal right over here. And he now gives TED Talks on the dangers of racism.
What you're saying is he was Edward Norton in American History X.
Yeah.
Very much so, yes. And so now he goes around and gives talks. He still holds some controversial views. But here's the thing is, like, at this point, because he was so deep in the shitter as a Nazi head, if he thinks that anything might upset people, he just, like, keeps it quiet. And then, for the most part, he's gotten a lot better. He stopped curb stomping people, which was a huge upgrade.
That's a big win for Tommy over here. Yeah, that's a big win.
The Tommy Pickles gang beatings were just a bit too much. Yeah. They were my favorite seasons of the Rugrats.
Yeah, just Angelica jumps in with the people's elbow.
He's really been through a lot in such a short time. 'Cause he's like 2, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the opposite of the Scooby story, where Scooby started out in a position of, you know, some people will disagree with it, but he was comfortable, but then he tumbled into chaos. Whereas Tommy started out in a dark place, and now he's just like, you know, classic liberal dude.
Yeah, look how happy he is.
Like, Tommy's kind of like the leader of the group. Like, I would say he's a little more authoritarian.
Okay.
Almost,
Yeah.
because, like, I do agree with the left, because he is collectivist and and tries to, like round up all of his buddies and, like, try to accomplish things. Like, there's this one episode where, in order to get the power back on, they all thought they had to open the fridge at night. Oh, so, like, like, they go off, and he's like the bravest one and trying to bring Chucky with him because he's a but like he's trying to bring him all along, right? But like he's super brave, and I would say I'd put him full authoritarian if he was like 100% brave, but the only reason why I know he's not is because he still shits his pants.
Oh,
so, like,
yeah. He's got to wear the diapers.
Yeah, I'd probably put him there.
You make a very good case.
I think that's good. I think that makes more sense than where I ended up with him. I think you took him to the finish line. Also, shout outs to you for totally roasting that baby by calling him somebody's got to keep these toddlers in check.
Yeah.
One final note I might change is, like, I'd move him maybe a bit further here after hearing your description of him, Jerry, because he does, like, round up people almost like he creates movements.
Yeah, he does.
Like, almost like workers' movements. Like, if they didn't do anything, they'd be over by whatever, the parents or whatever.
Yeah.
But he rounds them all up. He puts the flyers up, you know.
He starts the goddamn unions. That's our boy Tommy
yeah, he
right
does,
there.
for sure.
He's the union.
He'd be a communist, probably.
Oh yeah.
This is impressive. We started as a Nazi in the far right, and now we're inching him towards Maoism.
Eric Cartman is quite literally the epitome of far right authoritarianism. This guy, I don't know. I feel like he is like the reincarnated Hitler and the devil at the same time. He's just insane.
The crazy thing is he's so evil that he almost transcends any political definition of evil.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he would totally, like, pretend to be an SJW if it would, like, get him, like, some candy.
There are episodes where he actually does that, I'm pretty sure.
All right, I need to tell you something, Wendy. I'm transgender. What?
Yeah. So, like, from that perspective, if we use the Mario logic, he's, like, basically extreme with everything. So you could put him in the center, but I just think, like, his intolerant views put him, like, right over here and his, like, blatant racism.
Yeah. He hates gingers and Jews and everybody, yeah.
He has all the hallmarks of a childhood psychopath that's enabled by his mom, who is a sex worker. So I'm putting him right over here. He's probably a misogynist too.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually, I was not allowed to watch South Park growing up because my mom hated everything that came out of Cartman's mouth. So according to my, I guess, then closed off, like, bubble view, he is about the worst person in existence. So, authoritarian right about it seems to check out because I just I was raised to believe that he was the worst that it could be. So
I don't think there's a single episode. I think I've watched like every single one. I don't think there's a single one in which he has like a single redeeming factor. Like there's absolutely nothing.
Just the literal worst of humanity in one child.
Hi.
go with Jinx.
Ooh.
This one's a little tricky, and I'll probably need some help on this, but like basically she's a complete psychopath and she's got schizophrenia. She loves explosives and weapons and shit. Like at first she follows orders, but like she's very unpredictable and literally like a domestic terrorist.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think she's authoritarian, like,
No.
or if she is, it's not that high.
No.
And I don't think she's right or left. I don't even think she knows what she's doing. But like, she'd go crazy and be like the type to like rent a U-Haul and buy a whole bunch of fertilizer and just like make a bomb and just join a terrorist group.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. She's like flying out to ISIS. Like she doesn't even know what's going on over there, but she wants to be blowing shit up, you know?
Yeah, like she would probably get trained by ISIS, but then like go off on her own and do her own thing.
Yeah, she'd be like the Macedonian bomber or some shit like that. Like out of nowhere. She's like, yo, I'm just gonna bomb Macedonia. I don't really care.
Yeah, she'll just like snap one day and then cause chaos.
Yeah.
I don't think she's extreme right or left. I think it's in the middle, and I don't know how far up authoritarian she is. Maybe here.
I think she's like really against, generally speaking, gun controls. And
Yeah, that's
you just know that she's against like mental health checks on purchasing guns. So I'm kind of leaning over to sliding her down here.
Ooh.
Okay.
Just pure freedom.
Yeah, she's like, I don't think she really cares about anything other than like buying cool guns, blowing shit up, and I don't know, like she really likes her sister, so like incestually.
She does try to listen to her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that's fine with me. Maybe just like kind of closer to like there, not too far down.
Yeah.
I don't think she's like extreme anywhere.
No, I wouldn't put her down here, but like
Yeah.
here somewhere, yeah.
So Caillou, to me, is like the most privileged, entitled, snowflake ass, triggered all the time, like millennial kid. Like look at this swaggy YOLO ass asshole. I think he's over here, but like he doesn't actually have any authority, but like he just like sits on TikTok and like Twitter all day making shitty like anti-capitalist memes or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He gets triggered by everything.
And he wears Supreme merch.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's the worst. And like the authoritarian, he doesn't respect authority because he is the authority. Those parents are spineless adults that just like he starts bawling and they're like, oh, okay, you win, you get whatever you want now.
Caillou, it's okay.
Here's your phone back, enjoy your TikTok videos. Oh my God.
Sounds
And they're like funding his YouTube career.
Oh,
like it's
man.
like they're the worst.
So does he pretend to be like a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid because he doesn't have any hair, but doesn't actually have cancer?
Oh god. That's 100% who Caillou is.
Oh yeah, that'll be the scandal when he's like 15. Everybody learns he never actually was sick or whatever.
Yeah, he was like pretending to have a debilitating disease this entire time. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a photo of him when he's like 12 with LeBron James like posing for a picture, and then it cuts to like Caillou at 38 and he's like jacked and he has a hair transplant. And it's like, well, you're supposed to be dead by now. Like,
He's like fighting Jake Paul in like boxing.
He's like boxing Jake Paul.
this is the pay-per-view I would actually spend so much
man.
money on. Is Jake Paul versus Caillou
Oh god.
to go 8 rounds.
He's totally like an iPad child too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
his brain needs to always be stimulated by like apps and shit. Otherwise, he goes insane.
Yeah. And he racked up like $5,000 in microtransactions on Candy Crush Saga.
Clash of Clans.
Yeah, Clash of Clans, dude. Yeah. He racked up 5K on Clash of Clans.
Oh, he's the worst. And he's the one that goes into Twitch chats and just types Amogus like 250 times.
Oh, yeah. He posts TikToks exclusively with the I found Among Us sound.
Yes.
So yeah, basically all of the worst things that you can imagine
Yeah.
a child to bring to light, and like truly heinous. It's honestly kind of like an average day in Caillou's life. Like scamming Make-A-Wish and belittling his parents.
Pretending to be like an activist online.
Yeah.
Oh, big time, yeah.
He's also, I think, like Yoshi from our last video in that he's a huge Fortnite kid.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I like where Caillou is.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
It's in the middle because like he doesn't respect authority, but he also is authority, so it ends up right in the middle. And yeah, he's just like
The power he wields, the authority he has, is canceling people.
yeah.
With his Twitter account.
It is. That's the most Caillou thing I've heard all day. That's what we have to call it canceling now. It's like, oh man, did you hear that guy? He got Caillou'd.
Yes. 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 Yes! Yes!
Next up, we're gonna put on Elon Musk, or the cartoon version, the Brain.
Oh man.
So definitely likes business, definitely a capitalist.
Yeah.
Likes to make a lot of money, likes to have his name everywhere, obviously wants to take over the world. He really is just Elon Musk. And also, even though claims to be a free market and do everything himself, loves to get subsidies from the government. So he's definitely gonna be, he could be, this is actually, we're gonna have to do this by committee. Is he more right up here with the authoritarian because he's getting government subsidies and doing all that sort of stuff? Or is he more down here, not full libertarian, but enough that he can justify being a man of the people while also getting money from the government?
Interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I think the Elon Musk comparison is good because, like, he pretends that it's about science and, like, helping humanity and stuff, but it's clearly A, business, and B, ego.
Yeah.
Like, remember that time Elon Musk tried to send a one-man submarine to help those, like,
Oh yeah.
miners?
Yeah, like the trapped kids or whatever.
Yeah, the trapped
He
kid.
called the one guy a pedophile or whatever.
Yeah, he called the guy a pedo and he's like, that submarine sucks ass or whatever.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Listen, be that as it may, your submarine can't fit. Like, what the heck?
Elon Musk hates unions and shit, right? So he wouldn't be...
I would say more in the blue quadrant only because he wants to rule the world. He still requires help to do that, and he tries to explain to Pinky his plans even though he's a complete idiot. So like he doesn't want to like do it all himself. So he does require help from probably the government or or Pinky. And he does care enough to explain it to him and not completely shut him out. So he wouldn't be extreme.
Pinky is like the labor that he exploits.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, Pinky has no union card membership.
No way.
No way. He has no benefits.
The case to be made in the yellow or the blue, just not too far from the middle line, is probably a good place for him.
I think Elon Musk is like very appropriate. However, just because every episode the Brain says we're gonna do the same thing we do every night, try to take over the world, I think it's gonna have to shove him in the blue. Unfortunately, that's just like, even if he doesn't do it, he's pretty mask off about his authoritarianism. So I think he's gonna have to be up there. I'm sorry, whatever you claim to pray to the altar of the free market is not, it's fallen on deaf ears here.
No liquor? Das vidanya, comrade.
Bender is the biggest leftist hater.
He hates hippies, I think, right?
Yeah. He literally, like, I think he has lines where he's like, commies and stuff like that. So I'm not going to put him over on the left. I'm going to put him right kind of here. Because I feel like he still cares, like, about a lot of things, but he's, like, against, like, putting up more warnings on cigarette packs and stuff. Like, he doesn't really care. He thinks people should just, like, be able to do whatever they want without the nanny government. He drinks, like, entire 2/4s of beer and then just, like, goes out for more. He's just a cigar smoking legend.
He probably follows and contributes to the Libs of TikTok Twitter.
Yeah.
Is that the one that just got like shut down or whatever? Or he got like outed or something?
Yeah. Doxed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no. He definitely contributes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all he cares about is his freedom to party, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing worth fighting for, in my opinion.
He's like a hedonist who like loves his friends still. So like that's why he's not like fully down here with Scooby, but yeah.
True.
Scooby doesn't like his friends.
No. Scooby hates his life. He eats his feelings.
Yeah, he tolerates Shaggy because he gets drugs from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no friendship. That's just a pure business relationship. And depending on how high they get, maybe it's friends with benefits. I don't know.
Jesus.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. We're too far in.
Scooby-Doo's the one who gets like kicked out of the show and doesn't show up to the cast reunion because it turned out he has like really racist, intolerant views.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, some old tweets came up and they were like, oh no, buddy, sorry, we had to Caillou Scooby Doo because he said some bad things about Muslims.
I'm not actually gonna clean myself. I just like to sit on the drain while it empties.
Roger from American Dad.
Okay.
So I don't know how much you guys watch the show, but like American Dad's really, their sexual jokes are really top notch. And Roger's like one of the best ones for this because he reminds me of like a middle-aged, like flamboyant gay dude who's like cross-dressing and drinking and smoking and like hitting on men all the time. Like it's almost like Stewie, but way more extreme. So I wanted to put him like pretty like full left libertarian. I think I am going to put him here because he'll basically be like the first one to be naked. You know, like when Pride Month starts, he'll be like riding around on a bike naked down the street and be like okay with it and partying and stuff. And he wants to avoid the government at all costs because they want to like go and find him, right? And he's trying to like hide from them because he doesn't want to get caught.
Put in Area 52.
Yeah, maybe he could be like between these two because he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and depression as well. So it could be like I remember Max Payne was full left because he was like depressed and shit. So maybe like Roger could be in the corner.
He loves freaky sex and just martinis and stuff.
Oh yeah. I think left libertarian's fine. I think the best argument is trying to avoid the government.
Yeah.
And then he just wants to have fun, make jokes, and drink and do drugs.
Be in orgies.
That's about as left libertarian as I can think of. There's nothing else. It's pure fun anarchy.
Silence. And money.
Mr. Krabs belongs down here with Stimpy for similar reasons as Tom Nook, if you guys remember from the last episode.
Oh, not Tom Nook.
Him and Tom Nook would be business partners in an instant.
Oh, 100%.
They definitely meet up at those like Bilderberg meetings where you dress up like a goat or something, and they all like each other, and they.
Oh God.
You know, like all the richest people in the world meet up, and they decide what our lives are gonna be.
They have those eyes wide shut orgies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Tom Cruise is there too. Yeah. So it's Tom Cruise, Tom Nook, and Mr. Krabs are all just hanging out together.
Yeah.
Each other in the ass.
Just pegging each other in the ass.
I think the only thing differentiating Mr. Krabs from Tom Nook is that Tom Nook like kind of like tries to pretend that he cares about kids, but Mr. Krabs will like openly declare that he literally doesn't care about kids, only about money.
I don't care about the children. I just care about their parents' money.
Yes, he would totally like invest in like sweatshops and shit.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
I think half of his money is in China right now.
Yeah.
He would be the guy to argue that there shouldn't be a minimum wage.
Yes. Yeah. I think he invented the term trickle down economics as well.
He was an economic advisor for Reagan. Yes.
Yeah, hoping that the money would trickle back down into his pocket.
Here's what I will say though, and depending on what you view these positions, maybe you'll be less offended, maybe you'll be more offended. But doesn't Mr. Krabs, doesn't he just own like a fast food joint?
That's correct.
That's true.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So to me, that's that's not an easy thing to run. He's got to run a burger shack. He's alone. He's a working man. He's a lone entrepreneur trying to live the American dream. Tom Nook, on the other hand, is a greasy, dirty ass landlord ass guy who's just buying up land and then is charging rent that nobody can afford, and he's be like, well then why don't you give me your wife? And it's like, Tom Nook, you're the worst person. Can you please go underground, please? Like, I hate it when you pop up here. So I start trying to have orgies with my family just because I can't pay rent, you dick.
Goddamn Tom Nook.
I think if you had to make me choose between Tom Nook and Mr. Krabs, I'm picking Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs is kind of like a small business owner in that way.
That's
where he's like, he's exploiting people, but just because he has to, he has no other choice.
He's a victim of the system, whereas Tom Nook orchestrated the system.
He is the system,
He's trying to pay for his spoiled leftist daughter.
Yes.
I think there's also like a episode where he makes coupons, but the coupons actually don't benefit you at all. So I'm pretty sure that's how it is. And like, so he doesn't give a shit about other people. Like that. That's why like he'd be in that corner, because like his coupons mean dick all.
Yeah, no ethics to his business.
There's that other episode where he literally, I think, charges his employees for breathing on his company time. They think it's a paycheck, and then he like hands them a bill. It's like a bill for like breathing, for like tying your shoe and shit. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, and really bad like working hours. I think they make he overworks his staff and like makes them work on weekends and shit. Like,
he's like that McDonald's manager who isn't like McDonald's franchise owner who like isn't going to buy another franchise, but like is just like a complete totalitarian on his one franchise.
We got Arthur the Aardvark, right? So Arthur has been on for a long time. It's a great show. I think there's like between 200 and 300 episodes. A lot of great stuff. There's one episode that sticks to mind, which I think defines Arthur's character. It's the episode where he gets like a toy airplane model and he like is in love with it, right? And his sister, who's younger than him, she's young and naive. She thinks, because it's a plane, that it can fly. So she takes his toy plane model and she throws it out the window. Lo and behold, it smashes. Arthur finds this out and then proceeds to punch DW as hard as he can.
Jesus.
Oh, man, I remember that shit.
Exactly. It was terrifying. So, 2 things that come from this. 1, he loves violence against women. And 2, his love of this airplane and what he's willing to do to protect it is his commitment to the military-industrial complex. So, because of that, he is gonna have to go all the way to the authoritarian right. Basically right next to Cartman.
Yeah.
It's not just like military, it's also like property itself. He's a capitalist, right? Like private ownership, private property. If anybody messes with it, he'll punch them in the face.
Maybe to give a fair side, he does tell her to back off. But again, she's just a kid, and he really wails her. I think that's where the origin of the meme where he's like holding his fist.
Yeah, the fist meme.
Yeah. The fist meme. That's him doing like Falcon punch. Like he's like charging it up right there.
He'd definitely be the type to be into that like stepmom and stepsister porn.
Oh shit, you're
feel.
right. Yeah.
He buttons it up. He like hides his sexual deviancy.
Yeah.
He's a phantom.
Danny Phantom. And Danny Phantom, for those who don't know, is a superhero who fights against ghosts invading his realm. He's a ghost himself, but he's a bit of like a ghost racist. So like, I don't know, man. I think I would put him somewhere here on the right. I'm just not sure where he would land, because I think he's definitely authoritarian. He doesn't want ghosts to like escape their realm and shit, and he's not interested in making friends. Like he's gonna send those back to jail and stuff. I'm not gonna put him fully like up here because his biggest crush is on a minority. I think I'll put him like over here, maybe closer to the right, but not fully authoritarian.
Interesting. He's like a border policeman on the border of U.S. and Mexico.
Oh shit!
But it's like the spirit realm.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, get the back there. I don't even care why you're here.
But then he'll be like, but I'm not racist because my girlfriend is whatever.
He 100% does.
I'm one of you.
Yes, I'll take this teddy bear, this ruler, this piece of string, and this cardboard box.
We got Herbert from Family Guy, Herbert the Pervert. All right, so this guy is on the FBI watch list 100%. I feel like because he's so old, he's definitely got some religious vibes going on. Like, I want to put him down here because, like, I think he does like authority to a degree, but he does, for the most part, want the government to not find out what he's doing. And also he's against lockdowns because then he can't go to the local playground.
Oh no.
So he might not be right because he does vote for Biden. I think he kind of relates to Biden in many ways. Like they're both 80 and they both love kids. So I feel like I think he's going to be either right or left, kind of like around here. He was probably a massive con artist back in the day as well. Yeah, he probably doesn't really relate to anybody over the age of 12 or whatever.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So yeah, I just need help on which side he's on.
Yeah, I feel like you were right about the little bit of religious vibes, but then I don't even think he's religious. I think he just uses the church to like get at some
that's true.
community members.
Yeah, get at some
He's a
baddies.
war veteran.
Is he?
It's mentioned a couple times, and there's a whole episode about his war service.
That might put him like a little bit over here, to be honest. Like he probably has a gun. It's dusty and he never uses it, but like
He has a bayonet from the Civil War era or something.
a little bit closer to the right.
Yeah, I can see that. He kind of just wants to be left alone to
Diddle some kids.
There's a part of me that wishes that he was like a full-blown communist, because you could just be like, seize the means of production or something like that. But we can't make that work, so alas.
Yeah.
Come down to my freezer.
That's it. Profit is theft. Like it would be so great if you could, but unfortunately he doesn't give any inclinations. He's just like, you like popsicles?
Oh no, Connie's been hurt. I guess I should lie on top of her to keep her warm. What are you looking at? It's a cartoon.
Peter Griffin. I'm not quite sure where to put him because he's just like, quite frankly, the dumbest person in the entire world.
So he's a libtard.
He's just liberal. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him care about anything
Like political at all.
like in terms of like helping people, but I've also never seen him be so like ridiculously evil that he'd be like racist or like want to kill people.
No, except for the chicken.
Oh yeah, he used to shit out of chickens.
Can you put him sitting on SpongeBob's head?
I think he'd be like a little bit libertarian,
Yeah,
but maybe center.
He's probably a bit sexist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
He's got that old Boston way about him.
Like over here.
He's always talking shit about his wife or puts Lois down in some way.
Yeah, whereas she like literally carries the household and her rich father is funding them.
He's tough, man. We would honestly have to make another video with every Peter Griffin from every cutaway ever done and where they rank on the political compass.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that.
You'd have to do like, it'd have to be a chart with 250
different Peter Griffins.
Mr. Burns. I mean, we already know.
We already know.
He's the most aggressive, ruthless capitalist that has ever graced Springfield. He will do anything to make money and then use all of that money to get whatever he wants. It's a vicious cycle. Very brutal. But potentially one admirable thing, depending on how you view this, he's a very big proponent of nuclear energy and that sort of stuff.
That's true.
Which could be a good thing in the future. So the only thing I'm trying to figure out is he very far right authoritarian, or are we using pure capitalist type vibes that place him a little more down to the libertarian bend?
Interesting.
I would say more authoritarian. He seems like more of a ruler than a CEO or like business owner.
Yeah, I would maybe put him like full right, honestly, like just right on the right line. Kind of like here. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but he's like authoritarian enough that he kind of rules Springfield, but just through his wealth, but he generates all that wealth because he's so capitalist as well. He's like the definition of the people who fund the Republican Party kind of thing.
Yes.
He would own Chick-fil-A.
Oh, so he's like one of those high-level donors?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like he's a long-term ride or die contributor to the Republican Party.
Like the Koch brothers?
Yeah.
Yes, he's a big time Koch brother type dude.
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to like the like federal stuff in terms of like controlling companies and what they can and can't do, he'd be more libertarian. But in terms of how he runs his company, he's authoritarian.
Yeah, which is why I feel like that just balances out and puts him complete center right.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah. It depends on like what the situation is, what he publicly advocates for, and then what he does in private.
Yeah.
It's like a whole mishmash of things. And so he ends up kind of like, sometimes he'll be a little bit more authoritarian, sometimes he'll be a little more, the free market will figure it out.
I thought you said plastic surgery!
So Timmy Turner, as you can see, is like a smug little piece of shit. He's got fairy godparents backing him up through his entire life, so he's not really scared of anything. He's like very, very entitled, I feel. Like he just wishes for anything he wants and he gets it. He doesn't really get that in real life. Like obviously he's like bullied and stuff, but like he's like basically an entitled like middle class child.
Yes.
So I think that basically puts him like kind of over here, like on the left. Like I don't think he's fully decided whether, you know, like communism is great, like because I don't think he really wants anyone to have what he has. Like he every time he meets a kid with another fairy, he's kind of pissed off that he's not the only special one. But he also doesn't like use wishes to like make things better in the environment necessarily yet either.
Right.
And he also doesn't wish that minorities didn't exist and stuff like that. So like I just wouldn't put him anywhere other than over here.
I think you're right, but he has like a middle class privilege. He does get bullied and his parents aren't rich, but he just doesn't know how good he's got it compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So he'll complain that his parents didn't buy him like a PS2 or whatever.
And like wish for it and shit.
Yeah.
That's it. I think he dabbled in like a little bit of Marxism, but he's one of the guys who's like, I'm a communist until I need some money to spend, and then he's like, I'm totally okay with the system, because like it's like you said, I want to get a PS Vita.
Yeah.
Would he be like a failure to launch kid, like staying in his mom's basement and just getting like free rent and just buying, like spending his money on like a big screen TV for his room and like gadgets?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Eventually, when he grows up and if they leave him and stuff, his fairy godparents, he's gonna have no idea of like the value of money or anything like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like zero budgeting skills.
Oh, he's the worst. No, he is the guy. I think I've said before, but he's the type of guy that they'll write an article where it's like, this guy is 25 and he just bought his first house. How did he do it? And then one of the bullet points is he got $250,000 from his parents.
Fairy godparents.
That's it. He lived at home until he was 32.
Yeah.
He's also the kind of guy who, when he goes to university and gets a student loan, will like spend 90% of it on like a gaming PC.
Oh, 100%.
He'll just use taxpayer money on just like shit he wants.
Yeah. And then he'll ask for a student loan debt to get canceled.
Yeah. This is unjust.
That's
It doesn't matter where you land on that argument. Like him specifically, he's the one who's like using the tax dollars for gaming PCs.
I can't believe that I'm subsidizing this guy's League of Legends habit. That's the worst thing ever.
Oh god, yeah. Timmy Turner would 100% be a League of Legends player.
Well, I think we're good. If you guys, as always, let us know what you think about where we place things, our arguments for them, whether you agree or disagree, where you would place cartoon characters that you like. Give us your justification for it. Let us know in the comment section. Like the video and share it. Even if you hated it, let's get the discussion going, because this is real political discussion right here.
Yeah, this is serious, hard-hitting political journalism at its finest.
Be the change you want to see.
You.
Get the Elmer Fudd voice in here.
Yeah, we really stupid, Bobby. I'm gonna shoot you, you wascally Bobby.
Hey guys, we want to thank you for watching this far and for supporting us so much. We want to give an especially huge shout out and thank you to our Patreon supporters who you'll see on screen right now. Patreon supporters get access to exclusive bonus content that's too spicy for YouTube, as well as some unique Discord roles. For right now, we're working really hard to bring you guys funny content every week.
Bro, please subscribe, bro. Trust me, bro. Please, I'm begging you, bro. Trust me, it'll be cool. Bro, we'll upload a bunch of good funny content, bro. Trust me, please, bro. Like and subscribe and share and retweet and subscribe, please, bro.